everybody, welcome to our first Advent devotional. The carol I've got to share with you this morning is the first Noel. So the reading for today is from Luke chapter 2 verse 8, and it says, "That night there were shepherds staying in the fields nearby, guarding their flocks of sheep." And the verse from the carol goes, "The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep, on a cold winter's night that was so deep." So as you know, we're taking this reading from a book, so when it's referred to it's not my family, but the author's family. Every time my family sang the first Noel in church, people wondered why we were grinning at each other. It's not a funny song, but my family couldn't help but snicker under our breaths as we repeated, "Noel, Noel, Noel, Noel." And do you know how hard it is not to laugh at church when you get the giggles? We weren't laughing at the lyrics, rather we laughed at what that unique word brought to our collective minds. You see, we had a Christmas decoration that consisted of 4 angels, each holding a red candle, and each of the angels sat on the letters spelling out Noel. And my dad would often rearrange those angels. Eventually, one of us would discover his terrible dad joke and shout out, "Dad, it wasn't the first Leon." You see, the story behind the song goes as follows. The first Noel might be one of the oldest hymns we have. Some think the tune was written in the 1200s, but the Christmas words were added 600 years later. The word Noel comes from the Latin word that means to be born, but Noel later became to mean Christmas. Consequently, the first Noel means the first Christmas. Excuse me. We know people have been celebrating the birth of Jesus since 300 AD, which means Christians have formally and collectively celebrated his birth for 1700 years. And if the first Noel was first sung in the 1800s, people like Abraham Lincoln might have sung it. Your great-great-great-grandparents may have sung it. Pause for a moment and consider how many people have sung about that first Christmas, occurring on a cold winter's night. That was so deep. The song has one mistake. The problem with that line, "cold winter's night," is that Jesus was likely born sometime in the spring. Now, we don't have to delve into the trivia of debating biblical events to know this. The text provides insight. There were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch of their flocks by night. Now, I'm not a shepherd, but I have been camping. I would not stay out in a field on a cold winter's night. So why does the first Noel contain that line? Well, because by the time the hymn had been written, Christmas was celebrated in December, when it is cold in the northern hemisphere. In other words, that one line of the hymn was written to match its own time rather than biblical times. But that trivia doesn't change the truth about Christmas. The first Christmas was announced by angels who appeared to shepherds in a field. People have been announcing and celebrating the story of Christ's birth ever since. When you sing the first Noel, you sing about the first Christmas, and your voice joins with the millions of others throughout history. People have always wanted to announce the true meaning of Christmas, just as the angels did say. So, what will you announce about Christmas this year?